let's jump right on in. Front-end developers.
Yeah, so what are front-end developers? What do they do?
Well, front-end developers are developers that take UI designs. They take storyboards, stories, screenshots, HTML, CSS, and they basically design the presentation or the front end or what is displayed on a web application or web page.
Right. Yeah, and just in the recent years, it's gotten pretty complex
Mhm.
on the front end.
Yeah.
Whereas you're having front end systems that are almost as complex as the back end systems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And with these new frameworks that have
Right.
come out now, traditionally, front end developers they primarily use JavaScript or jQuery, and today we've got a robust set of
Spas.
frameworks that are being used on the front end, and it has created a new career path for development and for developers, because now you're seeing logic that used to coincide or be on the back end. You're getting the same type of complexity on the front end.
Yep.
So what frameworks are front end developers using these days?
Yeah, so if you want to spot out a front end developer, or you're curious in what technologies they're using, the popular things you're going to see is JavaScript, TypeScript. Those are two heavily used. Everything's going to be in JavaScript. TypeScript's more of a I think Angular's adopted it, and it's more strongly typed language. And once you get into it, if you haven't, you'll know what that means.
Right.
But you'll see a lot of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS for just displaying elements on the screen.
Right.
But how that functionality actually takes place, say I click this button and it changes from green to blue, that's done through JavaScript.
Right.
And obviously it's much more complex than that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that's
a basic,
easy to draw what it actually is.
Right, right. And we've seen you mentioned Angular. So that's one of the new front-end JavaScript frameworks that are out there, and really the industry has focused in on three major frameworks.
Yeah. Angular is your framework, and then UX libraries that are popular are React and Vue. Very popular. All three are for spas. Which is this new concept of single page applications where your page doesn't truly refresh.
Right. Yeah. And just to throw it out there, we're both pretty well versed on front end. You probably more than me. I'm not as engaged in front end development as you are, but I do support front-end developers and actually do some user stories when in an agile environment. So it's definitely a path that you can take to build a career.
It's a path for sure that you can go down, which maybe 5-6 years ago it wasn't really an option. Because we were so heavy in the server side languages. It was doing all of the logic. Right. And you were just kind of displaying and maybe doing some light JavaScript up there, and with jQuery and stuff like that.
Right. And I remember back 5-7 years ago when we were just using jQuery. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the logic that you were writing was maybe disabling a button or disabling text boxes until certain things were met.
Very simple.
Yeah.
But it was all like, you would know that stuff right when the page loaded. Right. Yes. Which is now you may do something over the left and it may change the way something needs to display on the right.
Exactly.
That's what makes it really different than it was 10 years ago.
Exactly. And I remember just writing some type of registration form where, everything was read-only, and as you filled in these different fields, based on your selections, we would enable another drop down or populate drop down
Right.
values,
Yeah.
based on your
Without
selections.
refreshing,
Yeah,
yeah.
without refreshing the page. So it's front end development has come a long way, because you used to have to do page loads or
Right.
refreshes and things like that. So now, these frameworks, they're just basically applications right out on the front end, and they're getting more and more complex today.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I kind of emphasize in front end development. So where can developers start today? If you're a new grad or someone not even in college, but you're interested in this field,
Right.
how can you start front end development? I think there's popular tools out there. W3schools.com. That was very popular years ago and still is. I still go on there sometimes if I'm forgetting something. And that really, they do a lot of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Right.
But they have it all. They have server
everything.
side and everything.
Yeah, and you're going to get just the basics. I mean, you're not going to find a complex solution to your company's going to need for you to write, but it gives someone who is entry level or has never even done it before, the information that they can use to create and learn these simple concepts with front end development. But I also would encourage young students that are in high school to take development classes as quickly as possible. And you're not going to get into complex server-side logic, in high school. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm Mr. Miyagi, so I'm old, and school. I went to school back in the '80s, but I'm sure that there are high school courses that kids can take that will teach them the basics of front end development.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. So that, and if you're not, maybe a boot camp.
Right.
Sign up for a boot camp or take a couple of the community college courses.
Yeah, and I would stress on this one to really learn JavaScript and the fundamentals.
Yes.
It's easy to take all these new things like TypeScript and your frameworks, Angular and Vue, and kind of learn and React and learn those, want to master those. But really, you're going to get so much more value from learning the core JavaScript behind the scenes. A book I actually keep on my desk as the Bible of front-end development, I think, is the JavaScript, The Good Parts book. It's a 100-page book. I don't know exactly. Someone's going to comment and say, no, actually, it's 120. But it's the Bible, and I always go through there just to reference from time to time. And it's easy to not do that because you're learning these new frameworks, and you get a lot of people that know these like Vue, but they really don't know JavaScript. And it's so weird to have that dynamic. Just the tools. I mean, we're prisoner of the tools we have, I guess.
Right. But it's definitely a career path that you can take, and today it's an exploding career path that is creating a lot of jobs out in the market these days. Yeah, so
for sure. And definitely cater to the younger generation.
Yeah,
a lot of, because that's where I kind of took my path down, and I'm seeing a lot of younger people in it than the reverse. Obviously.
Yeah. The more senior you are, I mean, we all go through phases throughout the years of what is niche and what is the latest thing, and
just stuff changes, right?
Right.
So back
fast.
20 years ago, you weren't doing
heavy
front end. There was no such thing.
When I was a junior